All right, so we are going to be making a quest system today. So we're going to start off by creating some folders to create the framework. So we want a folder called structs, and we're going to, inside the structs folder, right-click and create a structure for our quest. So we're going to name it s_quests, our quest. All right, I'm going to open this up. We want two variables. Let's see here. So we're going to make two variables. First one is going to be of type name. This is going to be the quest name. Quest name, right? Then I am going to make a text one for the description. That way we don't have to convert it. There we are. So that'll be the description. All right. Now, from here, we're going to close that. I'm going to close that as well. Don't need that one. We do need skills. I can close the grapple target. We are going to now make another component. Right click here, blueprint, and then you want to make sure it's of type actor component. BPC quests. You can even go system, right, if you want. System, right, request system. There we go. And we'll drag that over here, right? Now, inside the quest system, we want to create a variable called current quest. Quest of type sQuest. There we go. Now, we're going to create ourselves a custom event. Custom event called start quest. Start. Start quest. There we are. Start quest. Now, what we can do is I'm going to drag this in here, and we're going to drag that back there, and I'm just going to get rid of the word current. And you can even do new quest, right? What we're checking here is if we're we're setting the current quest, but then we're also going to check, make a boolean here called active quest. Active quest. Oops. Quest with question mark, and then we'll set that to a boolean. Right. And then I'll drag in, and then I want to get the not booleans, because if we don't have, oops, that's not a not bool, right? If we have the not boolean, right, we can then hold down B here and then say, hey, if we don't have a quest active, we want to create a new quest. Now, I could print out to the string, but I'm going to actually go create ourselves a widget, right? So we're going to create the quest widget first. While we're there, we're also going to create another widget too, since we don't have an aimer. So I'm going to create two widgets. So user interface, right? I'm going to do user widget blueprint there, WBP_HUD. Right, while I'm at it, I can even just duplicate that, and then we'll say quest. Right, that way I have both. Now, for the HUD, right, you're just going to grab a canvas panel. So under panels, canvas, right? What we want then afterwards is a Let's see here. Then we want to make an image really quickly. Sorry about that. We'll grab an image. We're going to set the pivot point for said image to an anchor point to the center. We're going to make it roughly, I'm going to do 20 by 20. And then I'm going to also name my variable crosshair image, make it a variable, right? And then if we zoom in here, right, what we want to do is go for our brush here, turn it from image to rounded 1. And then for the opacity, I'm going to set this to like 0.6, right? But I'm also going to, actually, I feel like this should be I'm going to try 0.8, but I am going to use the outline here as well of like 2, and then now the outline itself is going to be white as well, except for I'm going to put this one at 0.8, or no, 0.6. There we go. That way we get a nice circle, right? Now, back in our skills section, let's see here. Actually, we're not even going to do that here. We're just going to go to the hero really quickly. So we go to blueprints, open up our hero. Right, so we find where we're setting our aiming, right? We're also going to actually look for event begin play and see that I need to add a sequence here off of begin play because we don't want to affect anything over there. So sequence, and then I'm going to grab these guys as well because these guys should be over there, right? Enable magics, and all that should be over there, in the other area, right? But we are going to drag off of here first and say create widget. Create widget, and then I can do WBP HUD. There. Then we want to quickly come back here. I'm going to go to visibility. Look for visibility. Sorry. And we're going to set this to hidden. And then we're going to then come back over here. We're going to add to viewport. And then, but you also want to promote this to variable. So that way this will be the HUD ref. And that way we can easily turn it on and off as we need, right? Which is what we're going to do down at that aim. So right there, right? So that's the beginning of the hero just to set up the HUD. Then we can come down here and then look for the aiming. I'd grab our HUD reference. We can say get crosshair, right? And then we would say set visibility. Then I can duplicate this twice, since basically if we're not aiming, we want it to not be visible. So hidden, right? And then we make sure this gets plugged in here. And then we'll just make this bigger so that way it's there. And then there we go. Just like that. So that way now when we actually go and aim, we've got a reference to where we're shooting and stuff like that, right? I swear I had this working. activate particle, yeah. Oh, did I? No, I've got that. Okay. Well, we're not here for that, so I will do that offline. I don't know what I did to break it, but I obviously did something off screen to break it. So, but we at least now have the targeting reticle, so I can close that. We're going to now go back to our widgets and create the quest one. Now, for the quest one, what I'm going to do is grab a canvas as well. Drag that over here, clear that. All right, first up I'm going to grab is a border. This border is going to be the actual quest log, right? So quest log, right? Now I'm going to make sure that it's up in the top corner. I'm going to do 50 by 50 for like the spacing from the corner there, right? And then we're just going to say size to content. Now, I'm not going to make this a variable because I don't need it a variable. I just wanted it to say quest log, so it's easier to know what we're doing, right? Because then we're going to come back to there. Now, next up, we want a vertical box because, well, we want it nice and easily contained, right? So we're going to drag in a vertical box right there. Oop. Make sure it's a child of the border, right? Then we can grab a text box. Now this one we are going to name as an actual variable because, right, we can even set the text itself to quest name, right? Now, I'm going to fix the color of my border soon in a second. But we want to make sure that this is set, the name for this is active quest name, and that is type variable, right? I'm going to set the font for this to be 28. I'm going to also make it bold and italic, right? And then I am going to duplicate it, right? Now this duplication is going to be the actual active quest description, right? So just put that in there. But I am going to set this text back down to 20. I'm going to make it regular. I'm also going to change the color to be slightly darker, which what you'll see when I fix the back, right? Because again, usually the quest objective isn't quite as dominant as the main quest itself, and then we can just do some, do task, do go do this for me, right? Something along those lines, right? Now I am going to right click and wrap this with a size box. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to set the width of this to roughly not that one, sorry. I want the width, set to 400, right? But the reason why I want to set the width to 400 is because I want to come down here and look for the word wrap on our text, which should be, it's under advanced, I believe. Word wrap. Search for wrap. There we go. Word. There we are. Auto word wrap, right? The reason why is that way when our quest gets to the edge there, it's going to then wrap down. There we go, right? Then we can come back up here to this section here. I'm going to look for the appearance here, and then we want under the border here, right? Obviously we want our background color to be the black, but we also want it probably at a point, we'll do 6, right? So that way you kind of see through the background, right? Just like that. So there we go. We have now the beginning of our quest text. Now, I like to also go back up here and give our content. So if we go back here, color and opacity, no, content. Where's that? Advanced, no. Let's see here, background color, color and opacity, style, no. Did I do a button? That's not a border. Can I replace with border? Or do I have to redo that? Can I like, and then we just grab a border this time. And then paste. Oh, at least I don't have to redo everything else. Fit to size, anchor, and then we'll do 50. And then 50, and there we go. There, I knew something was wrong. So now with this, I can do the content opacity and things like that, but I also have back here the brush here, right? What I want to do is make sure we set this back to black, and then we'll do 0.8, or no, we'll do 0.6, right, for that one. But I do want a padding of, let's just do 20, 10, 20, and 10. That way, get a nice little section around our quest area. Let's see here. Now, I did call this quest log. There we go. There. So now that we've got the quest log, we can hop back over to here, right? We can start by creating, create a widget, right? Create a widget. There we are. And then obviously we want WBP quest. And we also want to promote that to a variable. So we want to promote it so that we can use it later, right? So quest widget ref, right? There we go. Then we want to drag off of here and say add to viewport. Now, we then want to set active quest. Then we need to drag off of here and say get quest, get active quest name, right? While we're here, I'm going to duplicate this again, and we're going to also say get active quest description. Reason why is because we're going to drag off of each of these and say set text, right? And you want to grab the bottom one, right? Otherwise it won't let us set the text for it, right? I'm going to drag that one up there, and then I'll do the same for this one as well, because we can duplicate this node, plug this guy in here, just like that. That way we have both of them. Now, this is where we're going to grab our quest, and we're going to split the struct, drag that, plug that in there, just like that, and then I can, yeah, I'll use a reroute node, right? Just like that, right? Now this is also a good time to play a sound. play sound 2D, right? And then we want, let's see, compile success will do, right? Say that we have a new sound, right? Now, that's great. There we go. Let's see. While we're here, we're going to also want to test this, right? So we can drag in start quest up here, and we'll just say make, and I'll just be like, you know, test quest, test, and then go over there, right? Main idea is that I want to be able to add this to our hero, right? So we want to go over here, BPC, add our quest system component. That way, if I now hit play, you'll see go over there is right there, right? So it's on screen. Now, that's great and all, but let's just say we wanted to actually, I'm going to close that and re-get it so you guys can see where to get the animation window for animating our quest text, things like that, right? So what we're going to do is make an animation, and then we're also going to eventually create, I'm going to also add in a complete quest as well, right? So what we want is start quest notify. So I'm going to grab this really here, right? So quest start notify, right? And then I can also, while I'm in here, I'm going to grab a complete quest notify as well. We're going to, for the complete quest, I am going to grab another border. Not that one, border, right? We're going to put that there. I'm going to anchor it to the center. I am going to then come along here, set it to black again. Make our this very similar, right? So do 20, 10, 20, and 10. Put a text in there. Then we obviously want this border to fit to content. And then we want for the quest, we just need to set the text to quest complete. And I'm going to make mine, you know, obviously green text of some kind, right? Saying, hey, congratulations, you completed your quest. Now, we do want to go back up to the border and make this, I'm going to do 50 on the Y, so it's similar along the top there, right? And then, the reason why we're doing that now, I want to come along here and actually remember, so we have the same, I want to change the alpha here to 0 for that one, as well as the content opacity, right? We're going to do that, right? And then we're also going to go up to this one, the quest log one, and we're going to then also set its alpha to 0, as well as the alpha here, right? Now, what I want to do here off of this one, right, is we're going to grab the alpha here. I'm going to set the alpha channel for the brush color, as well as the alpha channel up here for this one. Then roughly at the 50-second marker, right, this is where I want to fade in the quest. So we're in the start quest, right? So this is where I want to fade in the quest, so I'd want that set to 1, right? So I'd hit that, right? And then I need to scroll down here because I also want the background to go into 0.6, and we'll set that one, right? So that's a good start our quest fade in, right? And then for the complete quest, right? In fact, actually, can I? Just going to see Control C. And if I hit Control V, oh, all right, it was worth a try, right? So what I want to do on the complete, well, actually, no, it's on the complete quest. I want to do the opposite now that I think about it, right? So now that I have it there, I want to key in this guy, right? As well as this one up here. I can close the padding so that way I don't see that, right? And then at the 50-second marker again, right? There, 50, right? We're going to zero that out and key that in. Same as this one, because again, you would minimize the quest objective, right? But as we're doing that, we also want to grab our border here for the completion. And we're going to key both the alpha for the brush and the alpha for the content. And we're going to, as we turn the other one, set this to 1 so that the completed is there. I'll put this to 0.6 as well and key that frame. Right, now, thing with the completion though, right, we're going to probably go for another, I'm going to say another like 1 second. So we're going to have like a full 2 second long thing here, right? That way I can then come along here and hit the keyframe here as well for both. And then I'm going to, at the 2 second marker here, I am going to zero them back out so that it fades back off. Just like that, right? And I can scrub along to see there. Perfect. So, perfectly good here, all right? And then I'm just going to make sure that when I click off of those, that everything's back to 0, right? So, obviously, back inside our quest, we need to actually play these animations. Well, we have access to our HUD, right? We can easily just be like, get quest, start notify, right? Then we just need to say play animation, right? Now we do need to plug in the target. Oops, that's not the target. This guy here into the target, so that way it will recognize that this guy needs to play that, right? And then we want to make sure the sound is played for the start of the quest there. All right, so now that we have that, I can leave the other part there. We want to work on setting up the complete quest part. So to complete our quest, right, we are going to start down here. Now, we are going to create a custom event. This is going to be complete quest. Complete quest. Right. And we are going to check if we have an active quest. Because if we have an active quest, then we can obviously complete it. Right, so I would play sound, right? And then we look for success. Let's see here. There we go, success queue. Right, obviously I'd find better sound on line somewhere, right? Then we can get our quest widget, right? Then we can look for quest. We want not that. We want quest completion notify, right? And then we want to play animation, right? And then we plug this guy in here. Then I know this is a 2 second long animation, so I can at least put that there before we remove the widget from our thing. So we want to go here and then remove from parent. from parent, right? That will remove the widget, but we also need to set the widget, oops. So we'll drag in a set version, right? And then we also want to set the active quest back to false, just like that, right? Now, I'm also going to create for later a has completed objective. Completed objective, right? Actually, I'm just going to copy that and make sure I get rid of any spelling. There we go. Has completed objective, right? And we're going to also reset that there, right? That'll just fail save us later, right? Then I am also going to we'll leave it there. But I am going to check after we're going to delay, right? So we're going to delay for like 2 seconds, right? And then we're going to complete quest, right? And then we'll just do this, just so that way we can kind of see this. Now I'm going to put a delay here of like 1 second so we can see it fade in first, right? As well, right? Fades in, fades out. We've completed the quest, and then it removes it, right? Now, I'm going to delete that. And that is a good start to our quest system. Next video, we'll take a look at going into the overlap and then adding some interactivity as well to the quest system. All right, so we're going to be continuing along with our quest system. We are going to make a component to actually initiate our quest. So I'm going to create a blueprint. This blueprint is going to be of type actor, and it'll be BP underscore quest zone. Quest zone, right? Now, for the quest zone, we are going to need a couple of variables and also a box collision. Box collision is the main thing of the zone itself, so I'll just drag that up there. We can even call it trigger zone. Trigger zone, right? Then we'll scroll down here. And then I'm going to begin component overlap. Now, I am going to check our hero, though. If we added the tag, I just want to make sure we have player. Yep. So I'm going to actually copy that while we're here, right? Because we want to check if our other actor equals, or, well, other actor has tag, sorry, right? So we want to say has tag. Then we want player. Just to check there, and I'll put in a branch by holding down the B key and left clicking, right? Now, if it is the player, we can also check to say, right, we want to check if get component by class as well, right? And we want to get our BPC quest system. Oop, that's not BPC quest system. There we go. Right, and I'm also going to do a and boolean here because and we want to check if it is valid, right? As we'll use that one. There we go. Just like that. Make a little more room. Right, so we're checking if it is valid. If it is, we can promote this to a variable, right? So right click, promote to variable. We'll call this quest system or player's quest. Player's quest. And then we'll put that up here. So if both of those are true, promote to variable so that way we can access it later. Right? So right off the bat, we want to check if there is, we want to get active quest, right? Because we want to check, hey, do we currently have an active quest? Right? Because I'm going to make this very universal, so that way we can easily tell what it is, right? Then off of this branch, right, I want to start our quest. So we're going to drag in this here, right? And we're going to say start quest. And I'm going to promote this to a variable, right? And then we're going to make it instance editable, so that way we can at least set it inside the inspector, right? Because we want this quest zone to be universal. I'm going to put a delay of like 0.2 seconds, and then we're going to then destroy the actor. Because again, you only want this to usually happen once type idea, right? Now, this only works if we don't have an active quest, right? Off of the false. If we do have an active quest, well, we want to I want to do one of two things, right? Because again, sometimes you might not want to complete the quest right off the bat, right? Well, I'm going to first obviously do the complete quest. So complete quest, but I'm going to grab branch and then there, because we don't need to actually complete it right off the bat. All right, we can drag this over here. There. Right, main idea here is I can also go back to our quest system, right? We're going to create a function. Now I'm going to make two functions actually. First one is update current quest objective. Update current quest objective. Right, update current quest objective, right? So I can get my quest widget. I can say get active quest details, get active quest description, sorry, right? And what we want to do is say set text, right? So we're going to do the set text, but I'm going to drag this back here so that way we can just have it be a variable, right? Then we also want to play sound. Play sound 2D. I'm just going to do the success. Oh, keep fat fingering things. There we go. All right. So we've updated that. While we're here, I'm going to say check signed quest name, right, as well. Name. There we go. Right. The reason why we want to do that, we want to get our current quest. We want to split it. I'm going to put in a input of type name. Call it quest name. Quest name, because we want to compare if they are equal. And then we also want to have return value, just like that. And we just do this, right? Just like that, right? Because that'll be important later. not for this current quest zone, but we can then come up here and then we can do update quest objective, and then I'm going to new quest objective. Oh, I'm not typing in the right spot. New quest objective. There. New quest objective, and it needs to be also instance editable, so that way it can update that. Right, so now let's just make a little bit of more room, so that way we can then drag this down as well, right? But we do want to make a Boolean that is last objective, right? And then that's going to be instance editable as well, because again, this zone can be used for a multitude of things now, right? So this is a very simple overlap quest, right? So now I just bring this in, right? I can, scale up the box, doesn't really matter. The main point is that if I make temporarily, right, I'm just going to come back over here to our quest zone, make the box visible or hidden in game, turn that off, right? Because I want to see it, right? And then, right, so obviously we want to come over here, right? I'm going to say, right, so we want, quest here, this could be the start of our quest, right? So just over here, right? So, let's just say we've got, go or talk to NPC to Bob. I'm just going to do Bob, right? Go to go let's see here, or not talk to see Bob, so Bob has a quest for you, so go see what he needs, right? Type idea. Now, so now this is only if the quest is active, so we don't need to worry about that, right? So this is a non-active version, right? So this is the start trigger zone. If I drag this over here, right, let's just say Bob is just sitting in the middle of here, right? And then we could then, last adjective, right? And then it'll do that, right? So that way, and it also already has the name up there as well, right? This is a faster way of iteration, right? I could technically, have in between here an area to change the adjective, right? So if I were to just come over here, not last adjective, right? But we could be like, let's see here, test change objective, right? Change objective. And then I'm just going to quickly, right? So see Bob for quest. Now, obviously this is going to be, oops, that wasn't, is last. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Derp. Take two. There we go. There. That's much cleaner. And that will actually be why you play testing, right? So now that we've got that, we go there, right? This is change, and then we've got the quest complete. As you can see, we can place that around your level now as you feel fit, right? So this is the end of the quest part 2, right? Next one, we're going to set up the NPC for the quest. So, all right. So last time we started the quest system, right? So we have our very simple quest system. We now need to get a interactive system so that we can talk to like an NPC. Right? Now, we're going to make the NPC first. So ultimately, we want a character. And obviously, this character doesn't need to have anything too special. But we are just going to make NPC. And then we can go to mesh. I'm going to choose this guy because we're going to have him. Sandbox. Mover. Right. And then turn them 90 degrees, move them down. Perfect. Good start to an NPC. Right. Now, what we do need though is actually, I'm going to create a box, and then we're going to say this box here can be the trigger zone, right? Now, the box itself though, I'm going to make a child of there, reset its position and rotation, right? That way, can then going to say 200 by 200 by 100. No, we'll do 150. Because we have to create the interactive system itself. But on the plus side, we already kind of have what we need in the grapple, right? If we go back, or grapple target, right? We've got these things here, right? What I need to do, minus the widget, Control C, I'm going to copy everything because I got to make another widget itself, right? So what I want to do is go back over here to the event graph, paste those there, and then we're going to, on our trigger zone, on component end, begin overlap, and on component end overlap, right? And very simple, we want to check if the other component has tag. And then this one is of player again. Player, right? And then I'm going to branch, set it up first. That way I can just Control D, set Control D, right? Because off of end, you also want to check if it was the player that left. And then we can do these. Now, going to hit Q, pretty it up, because we also need to drag in our mesh to be the one there. Now, you can get yourself a new set of, another, like, make another, like, overlay material. That way it looks a little different than the grapple, right? In fact, actually, I'll quickly do that. No, actually, I will first do the widget, which is going to be very simple. We want our WBP, and then we want the prompt. Prompt. Why do I have more than one? Hold on. Why did I duplicate it? I don't know. I'm going to delete that. Looks like I didn't have it there. So, but now I can at least drag this guy over here. There we go. Plug these guys in there, right? At least then I get rid of the errors. Now I'm going to go to the viewport because we do need a few other settings. Draw as intended. I'm going to make this up here. Prompt, show prompt. Right now, obviously, I do need to set the widget text, right? So what I'm going to do is go back to our Grapple. I'm going to grab this quite literally. That way I can come back up here, right? We can go to our event begin play. Except for I'm obviously going to change this to E. Because that is the universal and already set default. Right. And then last but least, we just need to make sure that we also add our BPI interact functionality. And then we just off of interact, we'll be calling that there. And for right now, I'm just going to say print string. Right. All right. Fact. I am going to go to our blueprints. I'm going to drag this guy over here. I'm also going to set that to screen space because oh no, I'm going to close grapple target for right now. All right, we're going to set this to screen space. There we go. Just to test it, right? We're going to go walk up to Buddy. Yeah, I definitely need another material, so I'm going to actually do that really quickly, right? We go to our materials, find the outline, right? Then I can create a material instance. We'll call this mi interact. Then we'll go here. Right, line thickness, I'm going to put at, oh wait, emissive power. I'm going to put it at like 0.2. And I'm going to change the color to tealish color. There we go. I'm going to go to the NPC with it selected still, plug it in there. Right. And then I'm going to see what that looks like. No, I'm going to try 1 again because I think we had a higher number. Let's see. There, that's not bad. All right, now I do need to make sure I turn off the visibility of the widget so that it's not visible on play. There we go. Perfect. All right, so now that we have all that set up, we do need to actually go back to our skill section, find a blank space somewhere, and what we're going to do is do IA interact. Already set up for us from the starting project, right? Now, inside here, right, we need to get our owner, get owner, right? We want to get the owner's location, get owner, or get actor, or location, there we go. And we want to do off a start here, a line, not a line trace, a sphere trace. Sphere trace, and you want to by channel. Now we're going to do start and end. really quickly. Radius, I'm going to set to 200. Right, this is going to be like a sphere around the character, right? Right, and then we can promote that to interact range, interact radius, interact radius, right? Now, what I want to do is actually go back to our project settings and go to our collision. Collision. And then we're going to add another chase channel. Make sure you set it to ignore by default. And this will be interact. Right, and we hit accept. There we go. Now I am going to go over here to the skeleton mesh because we want to come over here and change the collision presets here. Well, from no collision to custom, or no, the capsule, sorry, the capsule is already on pawn, right? I'm going to do custom. The reason why we want custom is because we want to block the interact channel, because that is what we're going to be looking for. All right, so now that we got that there, we need to go back to the NPC, or well, we're already there. We've set the collision, and what we are going to do is set the actually back in the hero, sorry, or not hero, the skill, right? We want to recompile this, check if interact, right? And then we want to check, hey, did we hit anything, as well as, and do an and boolean, because we want to check the break of our hit results if the hit actor does implement interface, right, of BPI interact. If it does both of these things, well, we just want to duplicate our get owner. Off of here, we want to say interact with message, pass in our character. Right? Nice and easy. Get a little prettier. There we are. Just like that, right? So now if I were to actually hit play, walk up to this guy, hit E. Oh, do have a print string, don't I? One moment. Sorry about that. We're back again. We did this in the wrong character. I'm going to put this back to on just by default, just because this was the hero. We meant to do that inside the actual enemy, or not enemy, the NPC, right? So this is like character mesh, right, for the capsule. In fact, we'll go up here to the capsule pawn. I'm just going to do custom and then make sure that we have the interact here, right? So now I've also went into our skill section and set it for duration. That way I can then now go by here. We can see it prints hello. There we go. Perfect. So that is the interact system itself. Now, what I do need is to now set up the NPC. Now, the NPC itself, we want to off of interact. In fact, we can close the hero. We can, well, no, actually, I'm going to need the hero, but I'm not going to need the skills. We're done in the skills. We can also close the quest zone and the interact for right now. All right. So what we need now is to alt click this guy, and well, we want to cast to BP hero, right? That we set up to BP underscore hero, right? Because, well, we want to promote that to a variable, and we could say player ref, right? Because that's going to be a player reference. We also want to get the BPC quest system, because we want to also promote that to a variable. Right, so quest, oh wait, we'll just say quest system reference, or ref for short. There we go. Reason why is because we want to be able to access anything from there, right? Now, obviously, we can then say, well, are we on a active or get active quest, right? We want to check, hey, do we have an active quest? If not, then we can do stuff, right? So if false, well, we can drag in our quest thing, and we can start. Oh, start quest. Now, what we are going to do here is we're going to promote this here to a variable, except for I'm going to disconnect it because we've got quests, but I'm going to say call this quest log, right? Because Bob's going to have a couple, right? And then we're going to change that to an array. Now, we're also going to want to make this editable, so that way you can change it wherever you want. In our case, I'm not, but I am going to then also turn this back to single. We want an integer. This is going to be quest index, right? Because we want to then grab these guys and say get, and that way we can get the current index, which is going to be obviously starting at 0, right? Since our index starts at 0 if we were to compile, right? 0 there. What I'm going to do is actually promote this or collapse this to a function, right? So this, and I'm going to make it pure, but I'm also going to name it get current quest index, right? Except for obviously I want to fix the U. There, quest index. There we go. Now that we've done that, and then I'm going to come over here, right? I'm going to start off, right? So I've got a couple quests here, right? So let's see, quest 1, right? I will go with name, right? And we're going to line the heights, right? Sturdy piece, find a sturdy piece of rope, right? Now, this is what I'm going to do, right? And then for the second quest, right, I'm going to call this Tower of Reach, since we gotta get, something from the tower using the hook shot, right? Now, I'm also going to shift enter. I'm going to also add in, this is where we add in a little bit of a section saying, hey, this is the how you use the hook shot as well, right? Then I can do quest 3, where we learn, after getting the last item after learning the hook shot, right? We can then say, hey, we want, to get, go get me a magic focus of something, right? or return with the magic focus, right? That you got from the hook, using the hook shot with the tower, right? Which then, we can then eventually add on here another action to go grab like the door in that when we get to the door, right? But for right now, we're going to put a pause on that, right? Because this is obviously as we go through there, right? So now I need to go over here. I'm going to drag in the index, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a switch on int. I'm going to get rid of the default after I add in 2, 3, right? Because remove executive pin, right? We're going to do that, right? Now, what we want to do is we're going to make the thing first. So we've got our quest system. We're going to check has completed objective, right? If not, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a branch, so we drag it, hit B to branch it, right? I'm just going to temporarily plug that in there, right? Now, if not, we are going to play a sound, because, the player's interacting with this. This is where you would probably also put a dialogue or so forth. In our case, we're going to play sound 2D. I'm looking for failure Q, right? And then, but if, they've completed the adjective, right? We want to complete quest. There we go. We want to call the complete quest functionality part of our quest system that we had, right? Now, we also want to check if we have the last index. So we're going to say, hey, get this, and then we're going to say this. We're going to go last index. We want to compare if this is greater or equal to, right? And then we can branch here. But ultimately what I want to do is collapse this guy, right? So we want to collapse to function. This will be is last index, right? And then I'm also going to make that pure, because again, we're just grabbing the say, right? So if it is last index, right? And then if it is the last index, right, we want to, if it's not, sorry, right, we want to increment it. There we go. Now, I'm going to collapse this actually into a function. So collapse to function, right? And this is check quest status, right? Status. There, status, there. It checks quest status. Now, we do need to actually hop in here though, and I need to add a output of return value. Return value. Right, now the reason why I want that is because we basically at the end here want to say, hey, if it is complete and we have completed it, we return a Boolean saying, hey, we've completed the quest. Now, if we fail, we want to make sure we uncheck that, right? There we go, just like that. So this is the function here, right? So with that completed, we can then now hop back out here, right? So this is why we now have this here. So now off of these dots already, I can then go back to our section here, right? And then I can, click here, section 2, right? And then I do a branch really quickly, because this would be, all right, and we're going to check, hey, did we complete? If not, and then this is where we can then grab our player reference and be like, hey, you know, enable grapple. So we want to make sure that we go, not the message, the function. No. Let's go back to our hero really quickly. Let's see. Oh, that's the NPC, not the hero. Let's see here. I'm going to say try. That way I'm not using the same name. There we go. Try enable player's magic. Right, and then this is where I would then come up here, find our event gameplay, right, and deconnect these because we're getting to the point where we're going to be adding that to our quest, right? Now, this is where we're going to say try enable hookshot, right? There we go, right? And then we can also try enable magic, and I just duplicate the, technically I can grab, one's too far, duplicate these guys, and we can say, hey, we've done that, right? Now, there we go. And then we're checking error, right? So if complete, if not, don't do anything. Right, we're checking if has completed goal is checked. There we go. So now this is where we are going to, we're good here. So this is a good point to stop for a minute, and then we'll come back and create a the pickup item that we require to pick up well, technically how to set the achieved goal, right? So last time we got the start of our NPC quest set up here with our NPC, right? He's going to start a chain of quests that will eventually get us to unlock all our abilities while also learning them. But we currently don't have an item to actually go and set our has completed objective, right? So what we need is a pickup item. So in order to do that, I'm going to actually duplicate the grapple since it already has half of what we want. So I'm just going to be call this quest item. Quest item, right? Now this quest item doesn't need these ones because we're going to swap that. I'm also going to use that material I made the last video or one of the earlier ones for the interaction, right? So we'll replace this, right? I can delete this arrow because I don't need this. We're going to delete the arrow. But I am going to say press E to interact up there, right? The box itself, I am going to set to, again, 100 by 100. And then I'm going to do 50. No, we'll do 100. This can be 150 by 150. Again, ultimately, then this static mesh, though, I'm going to reset. Let's see here. If I put the Didn't scale it, no. I'll do 250 by 250 there. Because ultimately, right, the static mesh actually, under the construction script, we're just going to, in fact, we're going to go under here. I'm going to delete this. There, because we don't need that. All right. Now back over here, the box, right? We're going to reset that overlap dynamic, which is perfect because again, we don't need to do too much. We'll do the begin overlap and the end overlap. You can call this box the trigger zone. Trigger zone, right? There we go. Right, we want there. I'm gonna just go to our NPC. Copy this over here, because why not? We already have it. We're checking, right? If it is the player, and if not, we can't do anything, right? Perfect. There. And then we'll call the interact now. Right. I was coming back over here because I want to set static mesh. All right. And then we're going to promote that to a variable. So that way we can make this anything, right? Promote to variable, quest mesh, right? Or quest item mesh, right? Caps lock off, quest item mesh. There. For right now, it's just a simple cube, right? And then there. Let's see here. I am going to default it though to a default this one to cube. There. That way we have it there, right? Now obviously I want to reset the texture, right? Main idea here is then we also want to check that there. Perfect. So therefore, if I were to drag this in temporarily, we can now check and see if it is working for us, right? So right here, perfect, except for obviously I want to fix a few things. So we're going to start by moving it up 50. And then I'm also going to do the zone. I'm going to move that up. And we can check if you go to the left side, we can see there. Worst case scenario, you can also set the move the widget or the object manually afterwards. But the main point here is that the endpoint of our thing will be now on the ground, nice and easy for us, right? So now that we've got that, we want to actually set up our event graph for the item, right? So if I go back here to quest item, right? Well, again, we want to check, hey, cast to BP hero, again, because we need to, again, get the quest, or BPC quest system. We're going to promote that here to just quest system ref. There we go. And then we want to check name, right? Now this is what I'm going to promote. And then you're going to make sure it's instance editable, quest name. That way we can check, right? Hey, is that the quest that we're currently on? If so, right? If not, well, we're going to play sound, right? Technically, you could pop up, you know, a quick widget of something saying, hey, you know, can't interact with this right now, or you're not on the quest type idea, right? I'm just going to say print string, right? Again, we'll say not on quest, not on quest for this item yet, right? Item yet. Unfortunately, there we go, right? Now, but if we are, right, well, we want to then drag in our quest system, because we want to update quest. Hold on. Quest system. Check there. Update current quest objective. Okay, great. So we go back here. Update. Quest. Oh wait, that's not the quest system. Oh, I dragged in the wrong one. No wonder why. Update quest object. Objective, right? So I'm going to promote this to text, right? This will be new quest objective, right? And then we can plug that in. And then at the same point, we also want to duplicate this and say set completed, or oh, dragging off the wrong thing here. There we go. Set has completed objective, right? Adjective has completed adjective, right? Perfect. So what I can do now is I can hop back here. We can save, right? Going to duplicate this around 3 times, except for this one. I'm going to just put that one there. Right, we'll go to our NPC. Right, I want to grab our quest. So quest ID is the name, right? So if I have the quest ID here, and then we hop over here to, so this is the first quest, right? So what I could do here is, you know, we're checking the quest, right? And that way, if it is that one, right, then we can use that, right? So I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to put Bob actually in, ironically, this box here where we said, hey, go see Bob, right? Now, I'd probably want to grab this one, scale that up so that way you can, you know, start your quest there. All right, we'll go see Bob, collect his rope, which is going to be a quest item. I forgot to make this instance editable as long with this, right? You want to make sure those are there. So then we hop back out here, right? So we've got the quest name. Then this is where you would grab like the rope. Now, obviously, this is where I would you can modify it. Don't upgrade your things there, right? But just so let's just say this is the rope, right? Now that we've set that, I'm going to go back up to the main here, right? So then we obviously want to update the quest description, right? So now that we've done that, right? So back on quest 1, you found the rope, return, so you can craft you that hook shot, right? Then up top here, right, this would be your magic orb. So if I were to do a sphere, just grab any old sphere, right? Main idea here is we can there. And then this quest, if we look over here, right, if I go back to my quests, right, so reach the tower, right? Wait. I think I did it wrong. Right. No. I see. Right. No. So I want to move those up. Right. Right, because we're checking if we're, completing first quest, which, while the first quest is go get him rope, do that, right? And the second quest, yeah, so, right, and double check, yeah. So if it is complete, yeah, right. So there, right. Let's see here. So, all right. There we go. So we did that. Get the grapple hook. We go over here. Right. We then come back over here, open it up. Tower's reach. Right. And then we go back over here, paste it into the quest name. Right. And then we could be like, all right, so we've got, the tower's reach. We want to, we want to obviously return the orb. Right. You can add as many steps as you want in between, right? So this will be return the orb afterwards, right? Now, if I go back to the NPC, I just wanted to find hookshot, tower's reach, use the hookshot. So let's actually go test this out. Right. So I had a quest, go see Bob. I go over here. Right. I talk to Bob. Apparently, we're already failing. So I'm just going to hop back here. Right. So try that again. Right. Going to see what we got here. Okay. Oh, I see. Stop playtesting. Let's see. Quest system, event graph. I see. You know what? There we go. That should be a lot better, right? So Now if I did this, right, there we go. Oh, I see. No, we want to do right. Oh, well, there is a fix for that, actually. We just go over here to the NPC. We second. Gonna do 1 second, see if that helps me. If anything, just make it bigger. Shoot. Let's see here. Bob, move off. Hit T. Oh, what? Quest item, no. Let's see here. Quest zone. We're gonna add a billboard. Billboard. Yeah. No. Billboard. There. That way I can at least click on this and then we can. There we go. Right. And then put a little back there. There. Then that way. That way I won't need this, right? Oh wait, if I complete, yeah, you're gonna want. Yeah, I'm gonna just put a delay of 2 seconds here. Just be on the safe side. There. Right, so we got that. We come over here. That's completed. I hit E. You know, we go grab our, sturdy rope for the hook shot. Find a sturdy piece of rope. Oh, right. We forgot to set the item collision, right? So this would be on the main item itself, right? So actually we want to reset this to collision, block all dynamic, then do custom, and we're going to say interact. There we go. All right, so let's try. Go see Bob. Get there. Eddie. I feel like 2 seconds is a lot. I'm just going to put that at 1. Right, and then we get the quest. Technically you could have dialogue in there, right? So I forgot to destroy, found the rope. All right, return, so you can craft your hook shot, right? Quest complete. Right now I should be able to hit R. Right, so, oh, I forgot to go grab the quest. So and then now I've got my hook shot. Get up here. I hit E. You reach the magic orb. You can, so forth. Actually, now that I thought about it, did we have the tutorial section part in there? There. Right. Grab this. Here. Talk to. Again. right mouse button to aim, and then R to launch at grapple. Yep. There we go. Right. And then you've retrieved the orb, and then here. Hey, we've completed that, right? And then you can keep going on the quest afterwards. But that is how we can get our quest going. All right. Just got a couple last minute fixes that we need to do. We'll start off in the projectile. I had to make sure I set my sphere collision. That was in case you didn't, but I'm pretty sure I did in the video, and I just changed it off of it at some point. I was just messing around with it. I had it set to block all first, then custom, and make sure that we turn off the pawn. That's why it wasn't working. Quest zone, we need this here, but we want to drag off and do a not bool. And then we want to do an and bool here to basically make sure that we're also not on the last collision and create a, right? Because if this is checked, you don't want it to go there, right? You want it to go up here, and then so forth, right? So if it's not the not last, and then that way if it is the last one, so if that's true, and quest is active, technically I should do or boolean, not and, because otherwise both have to be true. That could be problematic. There we go. And then the last other quick fix is on the item itself. We just need to say destroy vector. That will fix quest problems. All right, so here, right? So actually, shoot. Let's see here. No. I feel like I went too far here. Right. We're going to, is quest active? Then, yeah, gotta do that check first there. Then, right. Put that here. So, if it is not the last quest, so it is true, we then start our new quest, right? There. That way, it should, that one works, right? And then the problem I was having, right, it will do nothing because that is the last quest, right? Then we go see Bob, we talk to him, get our new quest. It destroys the item, go bring it back to Bob. We can then grab our next quest. Then we go R, grab the magic orb, and then we talk to the NPC. We aim and we fire, and it does the smoke, right? And then this would be where you would add on another quest to show the dungeon reveal by doing that, right? Because I didn't do the quest there. And then you might, put a block so that it doesn't activate unless they're on the quest and things like that, right? But we can do that when we do the dungeon reveal.